I'm a little tired of defending myself against claims that are mostly twisted and not precise about wrong things I did. I do want to admit to one wrong deed I did. This is lashing out against the IDF in the last year and a half. It's not a tiny thing. Not a tiny thing. Now, the IDF is not a pure, it's not an innocent lamb, but the premises on which I laid the criticism was that the US military is all pure gold and belongs to heaven and should establish colonies in Iraq and Afghanistan and invade the areas. Um, uh, in its current form, it can't possibly do it because of, no kidding, misogyny and overtraining that makes it a hell on earth to serve in the US military. So I didn't see this, which is surprising with all much I can see. Um, so I had a year and a half of wrongdoing in this aspect of colonies and lashing out on the IDF. Again, not an innocent lamb, but doesn't deserve to be lashed out when there is the US military that, in some aspects, is worse than the IDF. Misogyny and overtraining, which are laughable as tiny things. Misogyny and overtraining, I can say it. What does it even mean? I mean, maybe there isn't. I don't even know. I mean, as much as I can say, it is pure gold and should be established colonies in Iraq and Afghanistan. Because what does it even mean that it is hell on earth to serve in the US military? As much as I'm informed today and should have made up my mind earlier, that it's people who damage themselves. I'm sorry to speak so laughably about things that are said, that are terribly said, but self-inflicted damage hurts others as well. The U.S. military is not the U.S. Army, but there is a self-inflicted damage that makes it a hell on earth to serve in the U.S. military, as much as I'm informed, and I am informed. So we need to change this to make it more humane. Although, I always say, beasts, but with all the respect to differences, we need to make it more humane to serve in the U.S. military. And then, obviously, in the far future, it will be, it's a utopia, best, best intentions to colonize Iraq and Afghanistan with the battlefield Russians and other things, other racist things that I said. This is all a good dream, but it's not a good dream to lash the IDF on the basis of, and we need to take care of the US military as well. We need to take care of them. We need to take care of them to bring them close to home. And a colony is not the first answer to do it. I mean, first of all, they should be close to home, and then we can take this home to be in the premises in the perimeter of Iraq. But it's not a good idea, like, just to send the families to this hellish lives and join them together to live, to be the back of these terrible camps that are not suitable for human lives, not good human lives. And it's laughable to say so, because, like, it's a tour in Afghanistan, tour in Iraq. I mean, what do you want? It's the best thing on earth. So I don't think it's the best thing on earth for the soldiers, and therefore for the population. In the Ottoman Empire, soldiers were taking bribes from the citizens. They were probably misbehaving to the women, but taking bribes. So thank God today civilians are not treated this way. But I'm pretty sure that soldiers living in hellish lifestyle don't serve very well the population they are to protect and serve, other than Americans. So I'm sorry to say so, and I'm sorry to lash about against Americans so much. Lately, I'm always known for being the anti-Americanism. But I need to admit my mistakes in this aspect. I need to admit my mistakes, and this is the idea of the colonies and the worshipping of the U.S. military. Not worshipping, the idolizing the U.S. military as a basis to lash on the poor IDF that really suffered a lot these days. It's unmeasurable, but let's call it unmeasurable. It's measurable, and it's pretty huge. Suffering of losses of human lives, of pride, of military pride, of other aspects that I take a lot of blame here, and not in vain. But I hope we will see the good sides of it either, and the good side is we can always start to lash against the U.S. military in my in my defenseless way. Yes, in my defenseless way, that going and lashing out without basis, without no, for how do you say, not formidable, without a basic basis. I don't know, to lash out from, to say we are the good ones, we are the good people, the good peoples, the good nations. So choosing the U.S. military to be the good nations that are against the innocent lamb of the IDF. I'm not saying, again, there is. I'm not saying there is nothing to lash against, but the basis to comparison cannot be the U.S. military, which is terrible in its misogyny and overtraining. That's the two things I picked to name these phenomena. You can call it other ways. We have seen a little scenes about it, like fuck Jody, fuck Jody, fuck Jody, and Christine. I don't know. We have seen little scenes about it that was very funny, very amusing to see or not. And other movies that we didn't even watch, we just spoke about, and it's not just movies. It's the testimonies of nature itself, of houses that are being wrecked, completely shipwrecked, as they say, and it's not a funny. I don't know. I can't really. I mean, there's nothing much to say except we should see to the military. We should see to the soldiers. First of all, to get them close to home, and if it will be possible in the future to make the home close to the soldiers, it's another possibility to make it better. Because I'm pretty sure that part of the success of Israel, that's what I said when I was saying, part of the success of Israel is not because it's Jewish, but because the soldiers serve close to home and go back and get their field rations well, and go to war with backed by their homes, backed by their people, backed by the nation. And not remote, 6 months apart, video chats and master whatever, things that are not proper. They're not in proper homes. They're not in proper safety. They are living a hellish sort of life, and it must affect. I don't know of any bribes that were paid by Arab civilians in the countries they were fighting in. I don't know about bribes. Don't know about attacking women, but it can't go too long on the good side. When misogyny and overtraining, that's the name they picked for it. When misogyny and overtraining are so deep into the system, So I will finish here my apology and my how do you say it, math of this. How do you call it? Final math. I don't know, of this year and a half, and say I'm sorry, and I'm sorry that reality sucks so hard. That's what is to really be sorry about. But I'm sorry that I lashed on the IDF on the basis and premises that the U.S. military is all gold, pure gold, and much better. They're not much better. They're not much better. In some aspects, even worse. In some aspects, they are all right. I didn't hear about problems in fighting terror and winning. So that's that's a good aspect. We call it the professionalism value. The value of a soldier is, among other things, to shoot the target, to hit the target. So it's true to say that if they were serving in Syria, we would not just save lives; we would save 7 million lives. Among them, so among them with non-conventional weapon. So that was a hookup that the U.S. military was completely that it completely abandoned the Syrians to their fate. So we have seen it in Iraq and Afghanistan with a few thousand casualties, and in Syria without. So we can't talk much about how necessary it is to be the value of professionalism. Um, and to know how to shoot the target and to do the missions very well, very professionally. It's a value that we cannot underestimate for a military to make pacifying missions, keep the peace as much as possible. Um, but we need to revise, to seriously, deeply revise the way the soldiers are trained, without misogyny and without overtraining. Um, I don't know much to say about it except that I came from the idea that there is a working system in Israel that could be, how do you say it, duplicated for other countries. Today I regret it because obviously the only thing it led is to weaken the IDF, weaken the local system that is working system. We managed to contain so much terror, so much evil. We managed to contain it with the missile launching and the. It's amazing. This is the reason I can sit here and talk and blabber like a stupid person, because they managed to contain a very evil situation. Uh, so all I want is to take back the year and a half of lashing against the IDF and start lashing against the US military. I won't be doing this much because I am an outsider, because I don't know where to start. But the idea of serving close to home and the idea of incorporating other racial identities in the background of in the colonies, in the background of the colonies, in the background of the homes that we are speaking about, where soldiers serve close to. That's a that's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Just it's not applicable with the current U.S. military, which is terrible to live in, terrible to train in, as much as I can understand. So, where is the problem with the IDF? I mean, I can't be so blind to the reality where, among all the militaries in the world, maybe the most moral, the best morally capable force is the Israeli Defense Force. Um, so this is the reality today. I really, really wanted, with good intentions, with the best of intentions, I really wanted to market this, to outsource, to market this, the idea of the IDF, to make it an IDF, ID force, for other militaries to learn and to adapt, as a working method, as a way to actually uh, pacify, actually make peacekeeping missions not a joke, not a tour, but a stable way of pacifying and keeping the peace. I'm a little despaired today. I'm a little out of context and out of boundaries, and I'm not sure what am I doing here and who the hell am I, as I was told, justifiably. Um, but I will continue to try and fix whatever I can fix, uh, with my family taking a lot of problems from the process. So I hope for better days to come, for what is left of my family. I don't see it. I don't. But it's a problem that I'm in very devastated state because of. So I can only laugh because I can't even. I mean, you would expect me to cry or to. I don't. I'm freezing, to say the truth. It's a it's a cold in the heart. Uh, I will cry later, but let's see what can we possibly do about it. I will do the best I can, for my family. It's not. I don't know why I got into it now with the microphone. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not necessarily speaking to people who love and appreciate and adore my family. I wish they would. I wish. I hope they would have. Um, but in any way, I'll go back to the serious issue and say, I back the IDF today. I'm sorry that I back the IDF with all whatever is left of my power. I back their intense fighting in Gaza and bringing justice to the people. Um, I think eventually the best people to care for the Arabs in Gaza are currently Israelis. I wish other states were also generous enough to give a hand to the Palestinian refugees, but in handling the terror, there's no other body capable of handling the Arab terror. There's no other body that could possibly do such a wonderful work, of going house to house and finding the bunkers and finding the. I don't know. I know what, to say the truth, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just want to say I stand behind the IDF, and I really stand behind the IDF in the current turn of events, in the current situation, where there is very little good to rely on. There is a good Israeli defense force, and it's much more moral, much more definitely moral, it's a professional. It's not a game. It's a professional army. That's one of its values, professionalism. So this is the professional moral defense force, military of the United Israel of Israel, stands and doing God's work in fighting the terror. And I hope that one day the U.S. military will grow up, will reach adolescent, as they might say. They will grow up to be standing the same. I mean, standing the idea of war close to home, not war away from home, not being 6 months away from in a long distance relationship, so called, um, but war close to home, and home close to war. That's a whole other way of living, and we'll be open to other racial identities, uh, such as the Russian people, who are very good in weightlifting and are giving wonderful support to the Israeli army. Uh, so I hope the U.S. military will come over to its senses and be see acceptable all these new and offensive ideas. They're definitely offensive. So I'm finished boring you, and I hope my support is true, is good enough for the IDF, and I hope my offense to the my offensive words to the U.S. military will land on listening ears and on good hearts that want to do good. I don't mean just cynically good, uh, good, on good Menschlichkeit, as they say, good Mensches, good good humans. Humans are the superior race. I'm kidding. This is really offensive and very stupid. So I want to end here with blessings to the good people who are doing God's work everywhere it is, in pacifying missions, and to hope it will be better, it will be improved. We will see progress toward a better way of training and without misogyny. That's it. That's easy to say. So I said it in length. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry for the camera. That's what I have here. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day, Hanan.